Hi everyone, I'm Karen and I'm talking wellness today with Kelly Barry George. Kelly is a registered holistic nutritionist. And why don't you just explain to us what that is and how we stumbled upon it?
Well, it's funny because that's one of the main questions that I've been getting ever since I started my practice, Simple Life Wellness, in Corner Brook in July. So first of all, I guess it's better to explain what holistic nutrition is not. A lot of people tend to think it's just about, clean eating, or I must tell people what foods are good and what are bad, and it's all about that. But it's much more than that. It's really a multifaceted approach to healthcare and wellness. And it includes all areas of wellness, not just nutrition, which is the basis. So we do work with diet and we work with the gut and all of those things. And there's a strong focus on digestive health. But we also, assess clients' stress levels or how well they're sleeping and what the quality is of that sleep. So it's definitely a multifaceted approach.
And it's a natural way to deal with a lot of problems.
Yes.
So you can have a lot of things wrong. Anything from sleep deficiencies to digestion problems, as you mentioned earlier, and maybe even allergies and stress and so on.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess it's endless, really.
It is.
So, Kelly, this is all really interesting. We all know that people are starting to discover that a lot of our sickness is actually coming from food, and that food is actually healing us to some degree.
Yeah.
So holistic nutrition is an interesting path.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you pursue it?
Well, I've always been interested in holistic health, but just on a personal note, I really found my way into this path after I myself experienced some, pretty significant health issues stemming from an incident that happened with my son when he was only 2 months old. So at that point in my life, I had 2 children under 18 months old, and my son at 2 months had a near SIDS experience. So after that, I went through a significant period of my life with postpartum anxiety and just not able to take care of my body, not sleeping, eating on the run, just doing all these things that can really derail your health over time. And for the first time in my life, I was experiencing so many physical symptoms like digestive issues, brain fog, anxiety. My sleep was terrible. And I could really, really feel that something needed to be done. And, I feel grateful that I was able to go down the natural health road and really I just had this moment where I said, okay, now I need to start taking care of myself. And I started to nurture my body with whole foods, really focusing on nutrition, quality sleep, even simple things like getting outside in nature with my children each day. And it had such a huge impact. Just these little things that are so accessible to everyone. And, they don't cost anything, but it has such a huge effect on your health.
So, Kelly, moving forward, people who come to you for help, I guess one of the things that I feel strongly about is actually approaching it one little step at a time. Now, you've mentioned that to me in the past, and I think that that's a great approach.
Right.
So just give us a little idea how you feel about that and how you'd implement that in your program.
Right. So I always feel the small steps approach is best because this gives people small attainable goals that they can work with that have such a huge impact. Because if somebody walks into my office and I say, oh, here's this big digestive protocol that you have to follow, they'll probably be like, either really afraid and just say, well, that's not something I could do and feel overwhelmed. But when we take it just one little step at a time, they can go week to week feeling that they're really accomplishing something. And with each step they take, their health is noticeably improving. Even hydration or starting your day with lemon water or taking one meal a day and just changing it to add in more fruits and vegetables. So these small steps just yield such huge results.
So for those of you who feel that it's not doable, it really is quite simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike conventional medicine, if I have this right, conventional medicine tends to diagnose you and treat you with, proper prescriptions and so on. But you guys go a little further and you find the root cause.
Right.
So just tell me a little more about that.
Okay. So, from a conventional medicine standpoint, we as holistic nutritionists and holistic health practitioners do not treat or diagnose. What we do is we look for what might be causing the body to fall out of balance, and then we support the body systems with good nutrition and healthy lifestyle things that people can adjust that will kind of put the body back into balance rather than trying to treat an illness in and of itself. If we support the body as a whole, because all these systems in the body are interconnected, then you can just slowly nurture the body back into a balanced state. And usually people find an ease off of symptoms. They have more energy, they might have skin things that clear up, and it's really, really powerful. It's a powerful approach.
Wow, that's so awesome to hear that. And I mean, we all know that's what Talking Wellness is all about. There's just so many things that will balance out your health that you couldn't have imagined. I mean, like we've changed so many things about our thinking processes when it comes to our health. There's so much new information out there to sort through, and it's really tricky because you read one thing and then the next day somebody's literally astroturfed it or changed it into something else. So that's really confusing. So I guess your approach is great because you're going to coach and help somebody with the information. Just tell me how you would facilitate that sort of thing.
Well, that's the thing, I guess, with the internet and all, the access we have, there's so much nutritional information out there today. And I completely get the frustration that people have because, they're able to jump on the internet and Google all these different diet plans. And it's not to say that those diets don't work. You have your paleo, you have your ketogenic, all of these different things. And they are wonderful therapeutic diets and they all do work. But what will be the right tools for someone to use might not work for the next person. So it really requires this individualized approach. And with the individualized approach, even if you give someone a protocol to follow, that will look just even that little bit different for the next person because they have to be able to take these tools home and incorporate them into their unique life. There's family dynamics, there's your career, there's stress levels. All of those things make a difference. So one of the things that I'm passionate about is listening with an empathetic ear, because I realize what it's like when someone comes in and they're feeling unwell. Dealing with health issues is not easy. And a lot of the times when people come to see me, they've tried all these things. And, they're really looking for someone not only to tell them what to do, but to coach them through how to do it and show them how to implement it into their lives, because that's such an important piece.
How many days do we wake up and say, well, you know what? I think on Monday I'm going to start exercising more and I'm going to diet and I'm going to take care of myself, and Monday comes and stressful and you're late for work and at least you can plant those seeds, explain when somebody understands what these changes are doing, it changes how they approach them, I think.
Yes, and this is where the small step individualized approach really shines, because I can tell anybody what to do, but when they leave the office they have to know how to actually do it in their regular life.
The other thing I think is really important too, Kelly, is the information itself. There's so much terminology. For some people, like a term like insulin resistance,
right,
used all the time, but that's one big explanation there. So I'm thinking that you would sort of, I guess, start with the kindergarten approach, which is awesome because really it's better to understand a little of something and know where you're going with it.
Try to use terminology and ways to go about different, therapeutic treatments that might work for people and make them less intimidating. And you mentioned insulin resistance. That's a huge issue that a lot of people deal with. And I do work with clients to balance out the blood sugar.
I have a question for you. Why don't you just tell us like a little story? Because sometimes people go to see you and there are probably people who want to see you right now, but they don't quite know what to expect.
Right. Well, digestive issues are one of the main things that I deal with in my practice, digestive issues and stress and anxiety. And a lot of people would think that those two things are completely unrelated. However, the gut brain connection, they're so interrelated. So even with different protocols that I work with, we always usually start with digestion and improving gut health. And that has massive downstream effects for the rest of the body. It helps to lower inflammation. People balance out their blood sugar, and this in turn improves their mood and it just improves their general outlook and energy levels. So I find that I see a lot of people who have come to normalize symptoms that they have, different digestive things where, they could be extremely constipated, only going to the bathroom a couple of times a week. They could be experiencing fatigue, and just we tend to blame that on other things, not really understanding how much, it could depend on a lack of hydration or not enough fiber or not enough micronutrients in the diet. So it's absolutely amazing how when I see clients for those issues, we just make these subtle tweaks and they completely it changes things around for them.
So Kelly, we've been pretty immersed in health ourselves, Brian and I, with our wellness business. And it always comes back to the same thing. And we're going to talk about weight loss now, because that's not how we got involved and that's not why you got involved. But all of these protocols, they add weight loss. So weight loss is a huge topic.
Yeah.
But why don't you just tell us a little about your experiences?
Well, I definitely see many clients whose goal is to lose weight. So it is a big part of my practice, but I like to try to reframe weight loss for people so that they can see weight loss as a side effect of health. So when we work with the body to clear up the digestive system, we balance out the blood sugar and lower inflammation. Weight loss is a result. And not only do we have to look at weight loss from a physiological standpoint, but there's a huge emotional aspect to weight loss as well. And, I work with a lot of people on different emotional eating things, and we look at how to use food as fuel. I often work with clients from an emotional eating standpoint because there's a huge emotional aspect to the gut and an emotional aspect to eating. And usually whenever somebody has weight issues, there's different ideas. It could be years that they've had ideas about food or things that have been, issues from their childhood or anything like that. And we really work with those issues to make people feel really calm and grounded when it comes to food. And they can really see it as the medicine and beautiful source of nourishment that it is.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Because when our digestive system is not functioning the way it should, we're not absorbing nutrients, we're not assimilating those nutrients, detoxification is not happening as efficiently as it could. So the effects of optimizing gut health have downstream effects for the entire body, including our hormonal system, including our neurological system, and how we feel each and every day.
That's powerful. So Kelly, let's talk about diet. Most people perceive it as total deprivation, something that they failed at, so why even bother?
Right.
And of course, the whole diet paradigm or the whole health paradigm has changed drastically. So it's so cool to look someone in the face and say, guess what? You're not going to be hungry anymore. You're going to be able to eat more calories. And you're going to get a lot healthier. So why don't we talk about the diet mentality?
Well, one of the main things I see and what I think is a struggle for a lot of people is when this yo-yo diet mentality comes in. So they look at food as either something that they're on the wagon with or they're off the wagon, and they feel like healthy eating has to be 100% of the time, eating perfect, restricting, trying to go low fat, which we know is absolutely not the way to health. That science has changed. But it's really something I like to give people this food freedom, that they can get to a point where they don't look at food as something that makes them nervous or that they have to, really always be conscious of, but really tap into that intuition and eat from a place of, looking at food as this medicine that can truly heal us.
Wow. And my favorite thing you said was food freedom. I
Yeah.
love that.
And so many people don't have that. And it can be so frustrating for people to try different diet plans, and not be able to maintain it over time. And then they feel that, they're just not able to do something that they should be able to do. And that is really bad for their self-esteem. So I think one of the main things that, if somebody could take anything away from this is that you really do have power over your own health. It's not something you have to place into the hands of someone else. And there's so many things you can do from a nutritional and lifestyle perspective that can really assist your body in any kind of healing journey that you're on. I'm passionate about showing people the power of real foods, showing them about quality sleep, how to decrease stress levels, to really bring the body back into a state of balance so that, you can live every day feeling vibrant and amazing just as you should.
Wow, thank you, Kelly. Pay attention to what she's been saying. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back next week. Thank you. Bye-bye now.